Panther Nation, welcome back to the show that connects you to TIS Athletics. We got Coach Garnes here and Coach Selman. And Coach, I see you went back in the uniform closet and picked out some vintage gear.
Mm-hmm.
And man, that's a good looking jacket. Do we know what year this vintage jacket might be from?
I don't know exactly the year, but this is my Fresh Prince jacket, man.
Fresh Prince jacket?
This is my Fresh Prince. It's taking back to my Fresh Prince days. So
man,
it's about that time for basketball season. So I went with the throwback for today's show.
Man, we cleaned out the uniform closet and we found some gems
for sure,
last week, and it was fun cleaning that out and seeing some of the history of jerseys that have come through here. And we hooked you up with a nice vintage shirt. So shout out to the history of TIS Athletics showing up on the show today. Coach, it's buffer week, which only means one thing, right? Winter sports season is upon us.
Absolutely.
And so as we talk about buffer week, Coach, what are you most looking forward to as this week ends and you start getting into practice next week?
I'm excited to see our togetherness. I talked about this year, just seeing how our girls interact with each other.
Mm-hmm.
We've already had a team bonding party well before season came around. So I'm excited just to see our togetherness and our cohesiveness with our girls. I think with that, everything else will come, the work ethic, the skill set of our girls. But to me, the togetherness and them wanting to play for one another and fighting for one another is what I'm most excited about.
Well, we'll get that started next week. I'm excited about the winter sports season.
Absolutely.
We had our parent meeting last week. Parents are engaged and excited about the season. Our players are excited. Coaches are ready to coach. And it's just going to be an amazing winter sports season. And this buffer weeks gives you a chance to forecast and plan for how you hope that season turns out. Another interesting thing that is coming up this week, Coach, that Panther Nation needs to know about is youth wrestling is getting ready to be a part of the Panther Cub Athletics. Wrestling has some tradition here at TIS, and Coach Spear is wanting to pick that history back up and get it started back in the youth. And so, we had some meetings this week, and I'm super, super excited because there's a lot of energy with people that want wrestling back here at TIS. And so this is going to be a start of our wrestling program and starting to build in our youth with Panther Cub Athletics.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's huge for us. Like, you ever been out to a wrestling tournament? It's hundreds of people around. So wrestling is a huge deal.
Yeah.
And I'm excited that we're going to try to get it back rolling here at TIS.
And it's, girls wrestling is really picking up steam.
For sure.
There's a lot more participation. As girls wrestling has come on the scene. And that's going to be another element of participation added here at TIS.
There was a time when girls had to wrestle boys a lot in their weight class. So now to see how much that's growing and girls are able to wrestle girls more and more, that's exciting for the sport.
So Panther Nation, very soon, Coach Spear will be sending out some information about registering for Panther Cub Athletics, wrestling, and basketball as well, which we're excited about to see how we, from the upper school, middle school, connect our basketball roots down to the lower school, to Panther Cub Athletics. And so we look forward to a great, great season of Panther Cub Athletics this year. On to team shout-outs, Coach. We do got a couple teams to shout out this week. And who are we looking at?
This week, we're going to shout out, first off, middle school bowling, who we had on the show already. That A team is still undefeated with middle school bowling. Liam was, again, the points leader on the boys' side. And then my girl Kinsley, again, was the girls' leader, the lone girl. She said she's going to be the leader every week. But they continue to improve and show out in their matches. And then middle school girls' 8th grade team. They had a tougher battle than we expected. So credit to Cheney girls in their 8th grade and their 7th grade as well. But our 8th grade girls were able to come out on top and beat them. But we do got some improving to do. Our numbers are low right now, but those girls fought hard and worked their butts off to only have 6 players to come out with that win.
Yeah, amazing. They have some great talent on that middle school girls basketball team. And then circle back to the bowling coach, because I showed up there and I was called to pep talk.
Okay. Called the duty again.
I did. And, I had to give Kinsley a talk. I had to give Liam a talk. And I think it produced the points leaders for this week.
It makes sense.
Or for last week. And one thing that we have to, me and you might have to go and do a session or a training on celebrations. Coach.
Yeah.
We get spares and we got some strikes. And, and I'm looking for something like that, a running man, some kind of celebration. It just wasn't there.
Hold your follow through in anything.
And so, talking to him about focusing was one thing, but also celebrating. Yeah. And you and I know a little bit about that. And I've offered to come for us to come and do that training for our bowling team, because I feel like, after you get a strike or spare, it's got to be some emotion, right? But anyway, middle school, they did their thing. It was fun to be there and watch. And, shout out to both of the teams this week here at TIS, doing amazing things for athletics. It's just that time of the show. As always, we call a team, player, somebody on that demonstrates the vision of TIS.
Hello?
Excellence in everything that we do. And this group that we're bringing on this week, Coach, is a fine example of that. And so, I'm excited to hear from this group, as we are every team that we bring on. But this is more on a competitive academic focus. Which is something new that we're bringing to the show, which, it's awesome to highlight our activities as well. So with no further ado, Coach, who are we bringing on this week? Who's getting the call?
So this week, Coach, we'll be bringing on our upper school Scholars Bowl team. And like you said, shedding light on anybody that deserves it around here at TIS, any program that deserves it. And this group right here is a program I feel will be deserving of this call week in and week out. You know what they did last season and how well they competed. And they're off to a hot start already early in this season. So yeah, let's go ahead and get a call.
Let's give them a call. Let's bring them on.
Hello.
All right, Coach, we got them here, and we've been learning a lot about Scholars Bowl, talking to these gentlemen, things I didn't know about the structure of Scholars Bowl, how the scoring works, even how the meets are structured. And so, I'm happy that we have these guys here, because I like I said, I've learned a lot.
Sure, me as well.
Yeah, so who we got, Coach, today?
Man, so here with us today, we got Ripley and we got Eli. Eli, what's this year? Second or third time back on the show, right? Third time back for Eli. We got my guy Ripley, who, if you've seen him on the football field, you go out there and he hits pretty hard. But today, obviously, we have him here for Scholars Bowl. So excited to have these guys on.
Yeah, man. So tell us a little bit, just educate our audience, if you wouldn't mind, Ripley, because you were just talking to us about Scholars Bowl, how it's judged, how you can cheer, those kinds of things. So can you just relate to the audience how Scholars Bowl matches go?
So in Scholars Bowl, most of the time you will have 10 seconds to answer a question, and you will have 16 questions in a round. So the most you can make is 160 points in a round. You get 10 points for every question. But if you interrupt the moderator while they're reading the question and then answer it, but you answer wrong, you will lose 5 points. And there's all kinds of rules, like if you have spectators with you, they can't have their phones on and things. They can't be distraction. They can't
make any noise.
Yeah, can't be talking, can't be making any signals to the people up front who are doing it in case there's any cheating or anything like that. And I think just recently, this year, you're allowed to wear hats now, which is pretty cool. Desmond, I know, likes that a lot. He can wear his hat now.
Yeah, and Coach, we talked about this. I mean, we would struggle being fans at a Scholars Bowl match. Because, I like to be a place where you can scream and holler and yell at referees and, for bad calls and things like that. So being having to be quiet would be a struggle for me at that. And so, Eli, can you talk to us a little bit about the season so far? The successes that we've had, particularly recently in our last couple of matches, and how we've done, and how the team, has been doing so far in this early season.
Sure. So we've had a number of tournaments so far, and we've been trying out different combinations of people working together on the team, depending on which your availability is, just to see for the later parts of the season we want to take to regionals and state eventually. We've been doing incredibly well so far. Obviously, in this last week, we've won 2 invitational tournaments, which is really big for us. So that's very exciting.
Very good. And we have the trophies to show,
sir.
Coach.
Yes, sir.
You have the Mountain Ridge Invitational, which we were first place, 10-0, right, in that one?
Yes, undefeated.
Undefeated. And then yesterday at Pratt,
Yep.
right? We were 9-1.
Yep.
Is that correct, gentlemen? And so 2 weeks in a row, we're coming out with first place trophies, which is awesome. Can you talk to us a little bit about the growth of the Scholars Bowl program from, say, last year to this year? As I know Coach Manis, we talked about it on the show a little bit, is super excited about the increase in participation this year.
Yeah, so we've always had a really strong program at the school, but especially now that Andrew Manis has been our coach, he has done an incredible job of recruiting underclassmen and more people into the program. So now we have over 25 people who are in some capacity on the team. One of the most helpful things that he's been contributing to our program is the statistics, which let us know what our strengths are, what our weaknesses are, and how we can formulate the best team possible for our competitions.
Mm-hmm. And it's good to have, like you said, those combinations, right? So you can see who's performing well and maybe who has an off day. And as the season goes on, Coach, then you know who you're rolling with into the postseason. So let's talk a little bit about how the postseason works, guys. So, you talked about how the regular season goes, but how do you get on into the state tournament and qualify for that?
You've got to be one of the top 3 teams in your region. So there's 12 teams total that go to the state championship in February.
How many teams out of each region? In each region will there be?
I would say between 20 and 30.
Gotcha.
Everyone's invited, but obviously not everyone sends a team.
So, to close things out, it's still early in the season, but what are the goals for the season? What do we hope to accomplish here moving forward, and what is our eventual goal at the end of the season, we hope?
Well, I think we just want to get people a lot more well-rounded on all the subjects, so we aren't just relying on one person to get this type of question, one person to get that type of question. So where we can really kind of swap anyone in and out depending on if they're sick, if they have a dentist appointment, something like that. And obviously the end goal is win state.
Right. And so just one more question, Coach, because I'm interested in this. When you have your team locked in for a meet, does that team have to stay the whole time in that section? You can't just sub players in and out in the middle of a match, is that correct?
Not in the middle of a match. So your team is 5 people plus an alternate. So in between rounds, you are allowed to switch out your alternate for one of your 5 players.
Okay.
If that's something that you want, but it has to be one of those 6 people playing.
Very good. Well, we've definitely learned a lot.
Absolutely.
We, like you said, have a rich tradition in history in Scholars Bowl. This team last year, right, tied for second place.
Set for second, yes.
Last year for state in 2A, and the goal is to win it. this year. And I think we have the team to go out there and do that. Would you say that, guys? Is that a fair statement? So Panther Nation, these young fellas here with us today are an example of excellence. Of the TIS vision, and we look for big things for Coach Manis and Miss Keely Tolbert, who's a JV coach. We have a thriving JV program now as part of the program of Scholars Bowl, and we know they're going to do great things. And we wish you well the rest of the season, and go win state.
So let's get it done.
Get it done.
Thank you for joining us again on the Panther Nation Show with Coach Selman and Coach Garnes, the show that connects you to the TIS Athletics Department. We'll see you back here next week.
Go Big Blue!